Good morning and happy Wednesday. We're glad you are still with us. I trust your week is going well. I hope these moments where we kind of reflect on the scripture that we have preached on and the one we're about to preach on have been useful for you. I'd love to hear about you. You can hear from you. You can hit me up at mglenn@brentwoodbaptist.com. Hit subscribe, like, all that on the YouTube. And man, we'd love to be connected with you that way as well. You know, when you talk about loving each other, and 1 John says, listen, if you love Christ, the first way we know that is that you love your brothers and sisters in the church. You love the people who make up the family of God. Now, your first question is, boy, that sounds great. How in the world do you do it? Because you're thinking right now of that person in your church that nobody likes, nobody loves. Now, come on, every church has got them. You know who they are, and well, it's just, I hate to be honest like that, but it is true. And that's what happens when you open the doors and don't charge admission. Everybody and anybody walks in. And some of the people who walk in are the ones who most need to be loved. But how do you do it? Well, willpower won't help. Making up your mind to love them won't help. Okay, you can make all the New Year's resolutions you want to. You can make all the goals you want to about how I'm going to be nice to everybody. I'm going to love everybody. I'm going to do all this for it. It won't work. And you know it won't because you've tried it. You tried it at New Year's. I'll be nicer to people. It didn't work. Never works. Why? Because loving people is too hard. Loving yourself is too hard. So where does the love come from that you show your brothers and sisters? It comes from the God who is love. It comes from Christ who is love. And here's how this works. As you become a follower of Christ, as you open your life up to the dwelling of Christ, Christ begins to pour himself into you. Remember Paul in Philippians 2. Christ emptied himself out, poured himself out. It's the image of a big jar of water, and you open and you turn it upside down so that all the water rushes out of the jar. That's the image. Christ has emptied his life. Where did he empty his life? He emptied his life into you and into me. The essence of Christ, who carried the cross, who died for sinners, who was raised from the dead, now is in you. Now, you are now a thimble trying to hold the ocean. You can't do it. There's too much of Jesus and too little of us. So all of this love he pours into us has to go somewhere. So it sloshes out from us, it runs out from us and runs on to the people who are nearest to us. And that's always the brothers and sisters in the church. It's not a matter of them being worthy of love. It's not a matter of them earning your love. It's not a matter of them being lovable. It's a matter of Christ loving you. And you trying to hold all that love that Christ is pouring into your life, which you can't do. So you end up having to give away the love that Christ has given you, or you will drown. Make sense? As Christ pours himself into you, you can't hold the ocean in a thimble. You overflow. It runs out, sloshes over. And that's the love that you have for each other. So listen, if you're having trouble loving the brothers and sisters, it's not with your brothers and sisters. The problem is you have probably done something to cut off the flood of love that Christ wants to give to you. So when you're thinking, well, I'm really not loving my brothers and sisters like I need to, it's probably not their fault. It's probably with you. It's probably with me. So here's the obvious question. Do you love the people around you? Do you love the brothers and sisters around you? Yes? Well, good. That means the love of Christ is flowing in you and through you to them. No, or not as well as you would like. The issue isn't with them. It's with you and your relationship with Jesus Christ. Make sure you're not doing anything to cut off that flood of love and grace that flows from the throne of God into your life, because that's where it happens. That's an interesting place to start your thinking, isn't it? With your relationship with Jesus Christ and how that affects your love for the brothers and sisters of the church. I'll give you about 60 seconds to get started thinking about this, and I'll see you tomorrow.